If you've ever loved someone the way I do, you'll understand just how shattered I feel right now. I call him Uncle Sam. 11 years ago. He took me in when I had no one and nowhere to go.
你以后就叫我小树吧。小树带你回家。
He cared for me in every way possible.
小叔，这涂的也太丑了。
是这样涂吗？我们家清华啊，怎么都好看。
小叔，你明天接我放学吧。
明天让思思去。
小叔，
Day after day,
我就知道小叔最宠我啦。
in the comfort of his presence,
多大了还要人家？
我不管。
I fell in love with him.
头别过去，眼睛闭上。
紧。
好了。
小叔，这项链一定很贵吧？
适合我们家清华就买了。生日礼物，生日快乐。
谢谢小叔。
On my 18th birthday, I couldn't hold it any longer.
晚安。蛋糕一会儿还吃不吃了？
I kissed him and confessed the feelings I kept buried for so long.
小叔，我要告诉你个秘密。我喜欢你。
But to him, he was the man who raised me, someone 10 years
我是你
older.
小叔。
我只是叫你小叔，我们又没有血缘关系。
喝多了酒，就知道乱说。
我没有说胡话，我喜欢你，以后每年生日我都会向你告白，直到你同意为止。
Love, in that sense, had no place between us.
我比你大了10岁，你不能喜欢我，想都不能想。这是我最后一次抱你。
Young love is bold and stubborn. I made it a tradition to confess to him every year on my birthday. Before my 22nd, I planned a surprise.
小叔，2个月之后，我要给你一个惊喜。我要让你知道，我长大了，现在可以有资格待在你身边了。
I heard the familiar sound of the door unlocking
小叔，
and ran down the stairs in excitement.
小叔，
Only to be met with something that broke me completely.
“清华，过来打个招呼，这是我女朋友晴芷。
小叔交女朋友了？
年纪也该到了，是该找个结婚对象。”
他有女朋友了。
My aunt messaged, inviting me to move to Paris and live with
清
her.
华啊，姑姑现在离婚了，一个人在巴黎，生活也比从前好多了。你考虑好来巴黎陪姑姑了吗？
I agreed.
我考虑好了，不过我还需要2个月的时间处理一下接下来的事情。
是，不能白白欠他人情。走之前，我会把这些年他给我花的所有钱一并凑够还给他。
I'd leave in 2 months.
小叔，今年就是你最后一次给我过生日了。
That's all I had to properly say goodbye to everything.
罗思恒，留给我们的时间不多了。
When Uncle Sam saw the circled date on my calendar, he asked where I was
你要去
going.
哪里啊
没，
？60天后有什么重要的事情吗？
His expression
是有点事，
held a trace of unease.
我累了。
I panicked. I didn't know what to say. I instinctively turned away, unable to meet his eyes. Feeling ashamed that I still loved him so deeply. From then on, I tried to avoid seeing him, but living under the same roof made it hard to completely dodge him. We bumped into each other at the front door one day. I quickly turned to leave, but he offered to give me a ride.
天还没亮，你要去哪？
今天圣诞节不好打车，上车吧，我送你。
思恒，
His girlfriend Zoe was there too. She was tall, stunning, and smelled of sweet perfume. I looked at myself and suddenly felt so small. I couldn't help thinking about what happened on the couch a few days ago. It stung.
要不然咱们送你一程。
I just wanted to get away.
我就不打扰你们约会。
In my rush, I nearly fell, but he caught me instantly, worriedly asking if I was hurt. The concern in his eyes unraveled, all the calm I had fought so hard to keep. I hated myself for being so weak, for letting my mask slip. I stared at him, dazed.
都这样了，就快上车吧，又不是小孩子了，别让你小叔担心了。
Zoe's voice snapped me back. They insisted on giving me a ride, and I had no choice but to agree. Sitting in the car, all I wished was that I couldn't see or hear.
思恒，这车里太晃了，你帮我吐吧。
Then maybe I wouldn't have to witness their intimacy,
快点嘛！
the kind that used to be mine.
小叔，这吐的也太丑了。
是这样涂吗？
我们家清华啊，怎么都好看。
小叔，你明天接我放学吧。
明天让思思去。
小叔，我就知道小叔最宠我了。
多大了还要人背？
我不管，我就要你背。
Why is it that no matter how far I run, I still can't escape this heartbreak?
从前你的温柔都属于我，现在我倒显得有些多余。
我的外套我哪了？就停这吧。
I made up an excuse to get out of the car.
这么冷的天，你不去画室，到底要去哪？
我去办点事。
He handed me an umbrella and told me to stay well.
晚点还会下雨，把伞带上，别乱跑。
I smiled and wished them a fun night,
你们玩得开心。
holding back my tears. Then I turned around and left, like a loser walking off stage. Are you laughing at me now? My first love, like a flower that wilted before it ever had a chance to bloom. I started packing for my departure. One day, just as I stepped out to take the trash, I ran into them.
哎呦，少爷回来了，少爷回来啦！
They had just returned from Paris.
你在干什么？
家里有些东西有些旧，放着占地方，我去扔一下。
这些事情交给李婶去做就行了。
我来，我来。
Zoe handed me a gift she picked out and invited me to a dinner party, saying it might help me find a good match.
明天的江城贵族宴，咱们把清华也带上吧，正好介绍几个年纪相仿的富家公子哥给清华认识认识。咱们清华啊，也到了该交男朋友的年纪了，总不能一天到晚都像一个孩子一样黏在你身边吧？
I could tell. She wasn't comfortable with me living under the same roof as Sam.
你想想，以后要是我跟你小叔结婚了，你一个人得多孤单呀！
And honestly, I understood. She's his girlfriend. Her being bothered by my presence is only natural. I didn't want to be a burden to anyone, so I agreed to go.
赵胜波怎么第一次带女朋友露面？
At the dinner party, they looked like the perfect couple, envied by everyone, but I, the girl with no proper background, stood awkwardly in a corner.
看来两人好事将近了。
哎，对了，你们听说了吗？我家那养女之前还喜欢博总来着，听说还表白了好几次。哼，不过是博家的一条狗罢了。
就是博总和秦小姐都已经官宣了。哼，我要是他呀，早就找个地洞钻进去了，怎么还好意思出来抛头露面呢？对吧？
Just as Sam started walking toward me, a man came over to talk, blocking him.
小姐怎么一个人？要个联系方式，我陪你。
思涵，王氏的千金招呼在哪？
I watched him walk away, like he was stepping all over my broken heart. Fine. If you want me to have a boyfriend, I'll play along.
加个联系方式。
I said yes when Ben asked to get to know me,
会喝酒吗？我陪你喝2杯。
but I couldn't take it anymore.
有点闷，我想一个人待会儿了。
I needed air, so I stepped outside. Feeling awful, I messaged my aunt, telling her I missed her. Then Sam appeared.
刚加上微信，现在就聊上了。
I don't know when he followed me out, but he looked upset. Maybe thinking I was talking to that man. It's funny, isn't it? You encouraged me to meet someone new, but now you're mad when I do. I asked why he came out. He handed me a piece of cake, saying he was afraid I'd be hungry.
怕你饿，给你
You
拿了点
see,
吃的。
he's still so thoughtful, so caring, and I hate it.
不过现在看来好像不需要了。听说沈家公子温柔浪漫，以后肯定能把你照顾得很好的。
He won't accept my love, yet he treats me like I matter.
是姑姑打电话给我。
It makes it impossible for me to let go. I explained I was just messaging my aunt, no one else. He seemed uneasy, as if he suspected I was planning to leave.
就前几天，他说他想我了，让我寄点照片回去。
当年阮家出事，你姑姑处境也不太好。听说现在稳定下来了。那你姑姑有没有？
But I didn't want to talk about that. So I cut the conversation short and left quickly. What I didn't expect was that him coming after me would infuriate Zoe.
有时候女人的第六感是很准的。清怀，你回来了，你肯定饿了吧？走，我带你吃点东西。
She dragged me to a quiet corner and shoved me hard. I fell, crashing down with a tray of glasses. Sam heard the commotion and rushed over. But Zoe stopped him, holding up her bleeding hand and saying she was hurt.
清华，
思涵，我的手受伤了。
But Sam, did you see my arm? I was bleeding so much. Ben helped me up, saying he'd take me to the hospital.
小叔，
小姐，我送你去医院吧。
I looked at Sam one last time, holding on to a sliver of hope that he'd say something, do something. But he stayed silent. He avoided my eyes. And in that moment, I gave up. After getting treated, I thanked Ben but told him clearly I couldn't accept his feelings.
听说你7岁那年就被波斯王带上了国家，算是半个国家。正式自我介绍一下，我沈毅，一表人才，身家嘛也算是和你般配。
今天谢谢你，不过我对你没那意思。
多了解了解嘛。
When I got home, Sam was still at Zoe's place. I guessed he wouldn't be coming back tonight.
思恒，今晚就住在我这儿吧。
小叔陪女朋友也是应该的，反正我马上就要走了。
I calmed myself and slowly fell asleep. But sometime later, I was awakened by a sound.
思恒，这些酒都是专门给你准备的。
还好他没事儿。
And when I opened my eyes, I saw Sam, drunk, holding me tightly in his arms.